Hello and welcome to Matt's Coins and a live stream. I've been given a coin collection by a relative, as I mentioned in the description, and I thought I'd go for it and show what's here. There's 3 boxes, can all fit them on the screen. We've got this rather hefty cigar box, which I'm going to put aside. We've also got this small cigar tin with various coins in. I'm going to put that one aside. We've also got Ferrero Rocher. Sadly no Ferrero Rochers in there. Well, I don't eat them anyway, but... And inside we've got some little bits, which we'll have a look at as we go through. So I shall pop that aside, and we'll have a look and see what's in this first little section. So the first thing we got is we've got a, just to add, I have already been through this. I've already picked out some bits I'd like to add to the collection. I haven't added them yet, but they are in the same containers that they were in when I started looking through this collection a few weeks ago. So this is the 1953 crown. Hope you can see that okay. Hi Paul, hi Chris, thank you for joining. And then we got the usual 1977 crown. We got this little medallion. This is 1953, so this is the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. The old Charles and Diana 1981 crown. And then we got the 1980 Queen Mother crown as well. So these are the first bits that I am going to look to add to the collection. So the first thing that I found was this. This is a half crown. Quite worn, but in not bad detail. Well, you can get a date off it. It's 1826. I can get this up on the scope to show you in a bit more detail. You can just about make it out there, 1826. Welcome to all of those that have just joined, up to 9 at the moment. I think this is not far off a record for one of my live streams. And then we've got some little bits here. So here we've got, that's a 1821 shilling. Again, very worn, but I'll take it for the collection. So this is, oops. This is 1867. It's French. I can't remember what the denomination is off the top of my head. Might be 1 franc. Just about to see Napoleon there. And then we got some threepences. So I'm not going to get this in focus. I might. So this is a South Africa threepence. Let me try getting it on the scope actually. Put those there a second. So this is a 1942 South African threepence. Then we got a New Zealand threepence here from 1940. Hello Baba, all the way from California. Wow, thank you for joining. So I'm not going to see the date too well here. We're going to have to transition again onto the scope. And hopefully you can just about make out there, 1878. And the final bit that, so I'll transition back again. That was going to have a quick look at. So this is 2 annas. Again, I'm going to have to put this under the scope. So you can make out a date, but it is quite worn. So you can just about see there that this is a 1913. So let me pop these back, try and keep everything tidy. The reason I haven't put these in my collection yet is I want to show the person that's given them to me exactly what there is in this collection, because there are some quite nice finds, to be honest. So here we got a 1965, not very valuable, but it is in a very, very good condition. For some reason that was put aside in this little case and has been left there. So then we got this little Zenith box containing quite a few Threepenny bits, Threepenny Joeys. And these date back through to Victoria time, right the way through to George VI. This is a 1920. Just going to put them back in the little case. 1898. 1917. It's 1910. Edward VII, of course. 1919. There's a 1935 with the acorns. 1917. George V. There's a 1920. A 1917. Now, I'm not using my usual camera, so I can't zoom in on this one, unfortunately. That's a 19... I can't even see that myself. 1919, that one. 1932. 1920. I'm going to have to put this one under the scope, bear with me. Again, it's quite worn. There you go, this is 1893. Now, I am just going to go across to a browser here, so I just want to check, so I'm sure there's one or two dates in that particular era that are a little bit more difficult. So this is my new Mr. account. Yeah, it's not 1893. I wonder if it was the other one. Never mind. Let's just go back to that one. I'm doing all this myself today, so I'm flitting back and forth between the different computer screens to give you the best view possible. So we've got a 1919 there, and a 1920, 1912. Sadly, this one is undateable. 1934, 36, obviously been jewellery at some point in its life. 1910, there's a 1917, 1936. So as you can see, there's a good 1939, a good spread of years in these little Threepenny bits. It's always nice seeing these little silver ones. That's 1874. I can just about make the date out on that one. If any of the people watching have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. There's another 1936, 1913, there's another 1919. There's lots of duplication. What date's that? I think it's 1916, and finally there's an 1873. So then we got this little thing. I'm sure Coin Patrol's getting a little bit excited because he's probably spotted some pennies. There are a couple in here. So the first thing we got here is an 1872. Is that 10 centimes? We've got Halfpenny from 1963. We've got the 1945 Liberation penny from Jersey. The old Hen and Chicks Percy Metcalfe from Ireland, 1942. There's another 10 centimes. Ends in a 6 is about all I can tell from the date on that one. 1921. So the large gap between the A and the B there. 1960 something. That's 1962. Another Irish one, 1941 this time. 1900, Victoria. Something's gone on with that one, a bit of damage. A 1908, I have checked this for the varieties on the 1908, it is the bog standard common one. Another Liberation one, this time it's the Elizabeth Head. And then a 1911, again it's been checked for the Gaby X, sadly it's not. So to the last few bits that were loose. There's some brass blank, whatever that was. A couple of those heated half pennies. It's a 1937 threepence. 1943 farthing. A 63 Scottish shilling. 10 UP, which looks like it's been in a fire. So this is a half penny. Is it George II? Sadly can't tell a date on it. And we got 1916 farthing. And a 1956 threepence. So let me just put these away. And then there's a few other bits in here to look at. So we got a 1920 florin, very worn. There's a 1900 threepence. This is another French one, and sadly impossible to date because of the weight. This one we can date. This is an 1863 Victorian shilling. Not much else discernible on it, but we can definitely make out the date at the bottom. I'm stuck to me. This is another half penny. This is George III. And this time it's 1805. Then we've got a George IV. George IV shilling. Sadly, where the date is, can't read. And then this is an 1855 groat or fourpence, again of Victoria. So let me pop these back in the little Ferrero Rocher tub. So like I said, I'm trying to keep this all together from where it came from. And I'll bring in this little cigar tin. So what I'll do is I shall have a quick rummage through the loose first and show you what's in here. So we got a 1926 25 centimes. It's a 62 penny. So this I believe is Belgium, and this is occupation coinage, Second World War occupation coinage. And I'm going to have to pop him under the scope. Yeah, 1945. So then we got a 1941 Irish halfpenny, 39 penny. 1937, was that? No, sorry, 57 Jersey penny. Another 1921. Narrow gap between the Grau and the Brit. Another 1942. Irish penny, that is, 64. So we go, South Africa, 1 penny. George VI. And dated 1940. This is a 1919, and I believe this is a Heaton one. It certainly is. We'll get quite familiar with these in the cigar box in a moment. So the 1999 Heaton, sadly got a big piece of, helps if I transfer you back over, nice big bit of tape across the side there. This is an oldie. This is an 1863 Victoria. Again, I'll show you the date on that one in a bit close up. You can see there 1863. I think it's 1863 that's got the die markers on it. Sadly that one hasn't got it. 1931 halfpenny that's been in the ground at some point. And this is an Argentinian 1890. I'm not even sure what denomination it is. It's pretty beat up. So we've got 1 penny, 1971, from Guernsey, that one. Actually, what's this one? Oh, yeah, 1912. This is a heat and minted one. Again, you're going to become very familiar with those when we get to the next section, the next box. So this is a 1915 10 centimes, again from France. What's this one? 67 penny. So you can see that, you know, this collection has got a wide range of coinage. It's not all British. It's a good mix of world and UK. Something relatively local to us. This is Cooperative Society bread token from Abersucken, which is about, I don't know, 10 miles up the road from me. So with this you could get, I take it you could get £2 worth of bread. Interesting little token. It's a 1936 penny, a 67. Another dirty one. This is a 1964, 1949 10 pfennig. There's another one out from 1978. So this is 10 centimes, 1855. So we've got another Irish halfpenny. This time 1949. It's focusing better by there, isn't it? There's a 1937 penny. 1972 5 francs. This was one of my favourites. Unfortunately it didn't add or upgrade the collection. So this is a 1934 American wheat cent. I think this is 1854 5 centimes. 1 drachma from Greece. He just drops it. This is 10p, 1968 from Guernsey. 1974 Canadian. Not really sure. It's a bit too worn to tell. This one's better. 1955 sixpence from Ireland. So we got some German coinage here. This is 1941. No need to say about the significance of the dates around there. So this is a Jersey threepence, 1964. Netherlands, 1955. So this is some sort of medallion. It's St. Christopher. Another Liberation one, George VI. 1 crown, 1 krone, 1971 from Denmark. 5p from Ireland. Another South African, 1941. Again, not adding to the collection at all. 1945. 1935 South African, 1 penny. So there we go, we got George V there, if he's coming through okay. Canadian 10 cents. I think that's 78. Yep. That's a 1980. 5 cents. 5 centimes from France. 5 pesetas. Again, didn't add or upgrade my Spanish collection. 1967 penny, 10 Pfennig, 1950 Irish sixpence, 1960 Swiss. I've forgotten what the denomination is now, it's been so long since I've looked at one of them. There's Japanese money, 10 cents from Ceylon, 1944. So any fans of non-circular coins, that's an interesting one to look at. 1948, 5 cents, Netherlands. Pfennig from Germany. 50 centavos, 1967 from Portugal. There's a 66 halfpenny. 1930 halfpenny. 10 Pfennig again. There's another 5 centimes. Again, undateable, although can make out the A mint mark there. And there's 50 escudos from Portugal. Candidates for the Mankey bin, as sponsored by Northeast Coins. We got a 1948 Australian penny here. Not really sure what's going on. Obviously there's ways of telling the dates on the Australian ones. So usually it's dots before and after the penny. But what we shall do, if I do this, is we shall have a look at New Mister. What's that say, 1948. 1 penny. Yep, usually there's dots, as you can see there, a dot after the penny. This one doesn't have one, so this would be a Melbourne minted example. In 1963 Irish threepence. See if it makes a difference if I move that across. There's 1 franc from Belgium. 1967 threepence. Another bit of German coinage here. I think that's 1943 this time, and that is 1, is it Reichspfennig? We've got some more Swiss. And 10 cents from the Netherlands. I think this is Portuguese. Yeah, it is Portuguese, and it is 50 centavos. And we've got 10 centavos there from Argentina from 1925. 25 all from Sweden. 10 Pfennig. 1958. That one. 1979, 10 cents from Canada, and then 1969, 25 cents. Okay. Right, a few more coins and then we get into the bags, which is where the serious stuff begins. So we've got a couple of Pfennigs, another 50 centavos. We've got a couple of Pfennigs here, we don't need to see those. Again, another one for the non-round coin fans amongst us all. So this is a 1943 1 cent from Malaya. Not in the best of conditions, but you know, it's not a something a bit different to a round coin. And we've got 10 Pfennig. Another 10 Pfennig, and 20 centavos there from Portugal. Another cent from, is that the Netherlands? 5 ore. We've got 1970s Canadian 10 cents, a few of those. And basically just more of the same as what we've already seen. So I shall pop those back in there. Again, they're not going anywhere near the collection. So we've got some pennies in here. I think I've pulled these aside just to have a look for variations. So we had another 1863. And 1905. And 1888. Not a bad 1887. Not a bad 1883 either. There's a 1902 and another 1905. And I put these in here for some reason, I can't remember. Yes. 1902, I think I'm going to have to put this one under the scope. Because that is your 1902 low tide. You can just about make out the tide mark by there. And you can see that it is indeed low. Sorry about my close-up on my fingers. And then it was just an 1879 I've pulled aside because it is in, again, not bad condition. So let's put those back in their little bag. So there were some silver bits that I'm not going to be adding to the collection because I've already got examples of, but I've pulled them aside anyway because they are silver. So we've got this 1955 1 guilder, 1958 half a franc from Switzerland. It's at 1939 10 cents. Just about make that out, I hope. From the Netherlands. In fact, these are all from the Netherlands. This is 1941. As is this one. So a couple of nice little bits of silver in there. Thanks, Paul. Yep, it's always nice to find the low tide. Always nice to find the low tide. So stuff that I'm going to be adding to the collection then. So we've got a V nickel here. Very difficult to make it out, but it is a V nickel from the USA. So right up, is it Baba Street there, Baba USA. So this is a 1900 V nickel. Always like to add American when I can. Hopefully my commission bid on an auction lot today will have won, because there's a few bits of American in there. 1944 one piece from India. 1922 3 mark coin. An unusual denomination for a currency that's decimalised, I believe. So 25 all from Sweden. A 1944 penny from Australia. So if we have a quick look under the scope, again you can see the dot just after the penny, and there's not one before. Has this gone to 1944? Yep. So as you can see there, in fact I've already got one of these by the looks of it. Perth mint, one dot after penny. I've probably not seen that when I've been looking at it before. Never mind. So let's go back to... In fact, I got all that completely wrong then. So we've got 1950 Australian penny. Got New Zealand one here as well, 1947. 1958 Ghana, 1 penny. 1 penny from Jamaica. This is 1937. Draw to 6. 5 Kopek, 1931 from USSR. And again, there was a nice wheat cent in here. Oh, say nice, it's pretty beat up, but it is a wheat cent nevertheless, and if it adds, it adds. And this is a 1935. Don't see a mint mark on it. Northeast Coins, good evening to you. Thank you for popping in. It's always appreciated. Hope you are well. Hope you're on the mend. So, another bit of American silver for the collection. 1946, 10 cents. So these I've already bundled up, mainly so I know what's in them. So here we've got Libya 1952, 1 millimie. So this is from China, it's 20 cash, and it's either 1905, 1906 and 1907. I haven't been able to make my mind up on this one yet. If anybody can translate, please let me know. So this is 1944, 5-0 from Norway. This is actually occupation coinage. So Second World War occupation coinage. This is 1 franc from Morocco from 1921. Quite an intricate design. This is an interesting piece that did take a bit of working out. So this is half an anna from 1888 from India. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. But again, something you don't see too often. A lovely thick piece of copper. So to give you a size comparison, it's just slightly larger than the penny. So we've got a few bits of silver here. So this is 0.720 silver. This is Netherlands East Indies, and it's 1/10 of a gulden. Let's see if I put that under the scope so you can see it a bit better. Where's my scope? There we are. You can see 1945. Again, always nice to add silver to the collection. This one we got Curacao 1947. Again, it's a nice bit of silver. You can see it there in a bit more detail. Another Swiss franc. This is 1958 again. This is the better of the two that I found. Practically uncirculated in hand. And then the final one of this one is a fairly low mintage, 6p from 1896 from South Africa. There you go, 1896, 6p. So again, with a mintage figure, you know, that's slightly more than the Salmon 50p, but less than of Kew Gardens. So again, always nice to find them when they're a little bit rarer. So I'm going to pop this one aside. Something else I'll mention this little lot came with is a couple of books from the 60s and 70s. Things to look out for and the prices. A little bit thinner than some of the coin yearbooks that we get today. So when this was printed, the low tide, It was anywhere from 4 shillings to £13, 1902. Does it have a date? So this was 1968, this one. And the Beginner's Guide to Coin Collecting. Lots of information there. Interesting book nevertheless. So now, I think this is probably going to pique Paul's interest more than anything else, because it's got lots of pennies in it. It's also got some notes. Lots and lots and lots of pennies. So we'll have a quick look at the notes first. So the old £1 note, oh, there's another one. The old 10 shillings, 10 bob, 50p, as it became. The Canadian dollar. 5 krona from Sweden. It's 1952 dated. And a 19th of October 1939 dated 5 francs from France. I've got those nice and neatly stacked away in there. So, may not go through all of these because I think I worked it out. There's 64 1912 Heaton pennies in this lot. But there's also some other bits, like there's an 1893 halfpenny, an 1889 penny, another 1889, 1896, 1892. No, not pennies. I don't even think I've got a 50p here I can show you, Dave, sorry. Or have I? I'll have a look in a minute. It's not just pennies, actually, there is silver here as well. I know you like your silver. There's another 1863, been a couple of those. So this is an 1861 halfpenny, and a rather delightful looking 1887. Sadly, this doesn't even upgrade my own one in my collection. So some of these packets are now empty, but the person that had these and has given them to me, he was collecting these up until the 80s, I think he said. And you know, there's a fair few. In fact, he went through this collection in the 80s and he's actually tried to price stuff up. That's an 1867. And that's an 1879. So, in here, we got a nice 1903. So if we have a look under the scope, we shall see it's the closed 3, sadly. I'm not as lucky as Paul there at Coin Patrol to have the open 3. One day I will get one. So then we're back to 1931, 1937, and another 1937. And I think this has been polished at some point in its life because it's worn and it just looks a little bit too shiny. But this is 1877 with some decent detail. Right. Let's put these back in here so I can keep it all tidy. Might even get into this little packet in a minute. Yep. So this is a 6pence, And this is 1863. This is one I'm going to just show you the date under the scope first. 1863. And then we're going to go over to, oops, I'm knocking my screens around. You missed it. Oops. You wouldn't think I work with computers for a living, the way I'm handling this. Alright, cheers Dave, take care mate. 1863. And we look at the sixpence. Because this is a fairly low minted year, with 491,000 minted. There, I've got to get the right screen back now. There we go. So that will be a nice addition to the collection, even in this condition. I'm not sure what New Mister's saying. In fact, New Mister doesn't even have a price for that one. But that will be going straight into the collection. I've pulled aside a couple of coins here, nicer grades. This is 1913. And also a nicer grade, 1912 Heaton. Again, just to show you under the scope, 1912. Oops. Now this is something that is really nice. So this is a 1938 2.5 guilder from the Netherlands. This is a big chunky piece of silver. In fact, have I got my scales? I do. I'll show you how weighty this is. I shall stick it on the scale. You can just about see that yet. 25 grams worth of silver, possibly 0.8, but with lots of detail. It's got a grade on here of fair. I reckon that's far from fair, if I'm honest. It's a shame Dave's gone, because I'm sure he would have liked to have seen that. Something we're not used to seeing too much of in this, in the UK at least. A coin with Edward VIII's name on it. There you go, Edward VIII. So this is it 1/10 of a, is that 1/10 of a penny? Yep. From 1930, oh hang on, I better put you back across. From 1936, 1/10 of a penny. Again, really nice coin, really high grade. And we got some Spanish coins here. Quite old Spanish coins. This one's 1836. Big pieces of copper. Slightly bigger than a halfpenny, but smaller than a penny. And there's another one. So this one's 1846, so it's slightly newer. This one's 1797. This one's a bit beat up, but because of the date, I will be adding this to the collection. What's next? We've got a 1928 florin. I hope you can see that. In pretty decent nick. You can just about make out some of the hair detail. Some of that usually gets flattened off quite quickly. I believe that's an addition. Got quite a nice 1917 penny. Just about to see little traces of the original mint colour coming through. Again, nice detail. So if nothing else, I don't think that upgrades my own collection. I'm sure I've got a pretty decent 1917 anyway. But it's always nice to see it. This is another Spanish one. 1821 this time. We already did. No, we didn't. Can't get into this one now. Now, this is probably the highlight of this collection. This is 1561 Elizabeth I threepence. If you want to look up the spink number, it's 2565. I actually thought it was a sixpence at first, but I've worked out where I was going wrong with my identification. You can clearly see 1561. You can also see how thin this coin is. So on a good day, this one coin is probably 100 to 120 pounds. And a fantastic piece of history. That's why it's been put in there, to keep it all nice and safe. I've got to remember what this one is now. So it's Victoria, and it's 1840. Oh, this is the East India Company, that's right. Let's transition over to this camera a minute. You can just make out East India Company at the top. So I've only just realised that Baba's been called for lunch. So, for those sticking with me, hope you're enjoying the stream. Hope you're enjoying looking at what's in this little box. There's still plenty to come, unfortunately, but I won't be going through it all because there's too many pennies. We've got the old 1951 Festival of Britain crown. Still in its little case. Sadly, it hasn't got its little sheet to go with it. That would have been the icing on the cake. There were several sixpences. Again, I won't go through those just now. We've all seen sixpence. What should we go through next? A little bag pennies here. So 1912 Heaton. 1912. I believe that's a Heaton. Yep, 1912 Heaton. I think this is just a bag of 1912 Heatons. Yep, there's another one. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. And another one. And another one. But then there's more. And more. And more. There's some more. More. Lots more. Some more in there. I think there may be 1912 Heatons in there as well. And in there. No, we'll keep those for a second. This is the thing, going through this, there was so much stuff. And a lot of it, you know, I counted 64 1912 Heaton pennies, if not more. I think that's them all. So, you know, everybody was pulling these out back in the day. So there was absolutely tons of them kept. And I think we've said it before, I think Paul at Coin Patrols mentioned it as well. It's probably easier to find a 1912 Heaton penny than it is the non-Heaton version, the Royal Mint version. And I tend to agree with that. So we got a 1806 George III penny. Incorrectly labelled as cartwheel. It's not a cartwheel, that one. here we go with a 1919 Cayenne. So you can clearly see the Cayenne there, and you know, some pretty decent detail on this one. You know, normally these get quite worn. And this one's also marked as being a Cayenne, but this one isn't in as good condition. There you go, you can see the Cayenne again. You know, in terms of some of the coinage in here, it's quite a complete collection in terms of the Heatons, almost. Pull these out. As well as the 1912s, we've also got several 1918 Heatons. Still quite worn. I don't think there was anything too much to write home about. As it is, if you've been with my channel for a while, you'll know that a few, let's see, year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I did find a 1918 Heaton in very high grade in a hunt. We've got some 1919 Heatons, and there's another 9 of them here. You know, speaking with the chap that gave these to me, he did say that he was pulling these out when he found them. You know, whilst they're great to have them, it would have been nice to have had some high grade ones, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. We've also got standard 1967. There's another 67 there and about the same. These are just empty. Right. This is a George III cartwheel penny, 1797. Usual condition for one of them. And we got some older. We got 1771 and 1738. Some older copper. And Mr. 1918 Heaton. Okay, a little baggie here. Some little bits of silver. 1922 sixpence. 1936 sixpence. It looks like it's been in the fire. And a 1913 threepence. Yeah, when I look at this lot, if I could have picked this up at my local auction for £30 or £40, it would have been a fantastic buy. A couple more 67 pennies. Oh yeah, we got some crowns as well. And then on to the bit that Dave's gonna wish he was here for, because there is silver. So we've got some half crowns. A little bit dirty, but you know, not bad. 0.5 silver, of course. Then we've got 1941 shilling, Scottish. There's a couple in here actually. This one's been toned, possibly as being a result of being in here. And then we got a 1944 Scottish as well, so 41 and 44. You can see there's a price written on the back, third 86, £1.60. We've got an Irish halfpenny. An 1893 sixpence. Veiled head, of course. £1887 Jubilee half crown. Very difficult for this camera to pick up because it is quite grubby and it has got a bit of a ding on the edge. but again, it's not bad detail. I think it just looks dirty. Not that it will be cleaned, of course. We've got 1945 half crate. Again, quite shiny in hand. I don't know if it's been cleaned or if that's just not normal, but it is in quite good grade. 1936 shilling. And we got 1934 sixpence. We got 1934 there, and a 1928. Shame it wasn't a 1927, because I think that is the proof only year. Another high grade one here, 1943. Again, I don't know if it's suffering from being in here. Once I get the okay, they probably will all be coming out. And this is a 1871, 1 shilling. Victoria, of course. £19.27 shilling. £19.29. Again with this toning on. Get it in the right light. It's quite rainbow-like. I know some people like that sort of thing, not my thing though. And then out of the last few silvers, we've got some 1887 shillings as well. There's another one. So we've had quite a few people popping in. A little bit of chat, which is nice. There's the last one of those. And I think we're on the verge of wrapping up now with just this little bag to go. We'll have a quick flick through here, see what's there. If anybody's got any more questions or comments on the stream they'd like to add, now's your chance. We've got 1962. Watching your latest videos, Paul, that one on yours at 1961 penny, I think that's just damage. We've got 1948 there. There's a 1961. 67. There's a 1933 halfpenny. And we've got some sixpences and a pfennig, or 10 pfennig. 1959 sixpence. And a 62 threepence and sixpence. And we got a 1946, sadly not the one with the dot. We got is that 1928 halfpenny, 1926 halfpenny. My life seems to revolve around halfpennies. Tomorrow night is Shove Halfpenny playing night, and I was out in the pub playing it last night as well. 1861 penny, 1962, 67, 66, 1936. We've got a farthing here. 1916 on 1918. 1916. That's another 1912 Heaton. 1967. Here's an 1891. So it can be 1805 or 1806. 1876 Heaton. And another 1876 Heaton. So again, we've got a few sixpences. 1967 pennies. And a rarity in this particular collection. There you go, 1912 without the heat and mint mark. 37, very dirty 44, and a very dirty 1946 as well. So even if there was an apostrophe there, we would not see it. Not that I need one, I do have one in the collection. In fact, I found one or two now. So the last few coins are here. So we got, so is that 1920? I can't even see it. 1923 farthing. 1942, 1940, 1944, and a 1942. So yeah, that is a coin collection. Don't really know what else to say other than having this gifted to me is fantastic. I don't need a lot of it, but there are quite a few bits that will get added to the collection eventually. So I'm just waiting to speak to the person that's gifted this to me, just so I can actually take him through and show him what we found, or what I found, because there is some really nice coins in there. There's a couple of scarce bits. I don't think I've ever seen so many heat and minted pennies in one place before. It's almost like he was trying to corner the market in heat and minted 1912 pennies. But you know, it's all good. And so it's not just, oh, it's me not hitting the wrong button. It's all good, you know. Even then, you know, we've got the 1919 ones as well. So I shall wrap up the stream there. If you're watching this after the event, please feel free to add a comment. If you've not already subscribed and you've come by this video and you're enjoying what you see, I'll try and do this again in the near future. But other than that, it just leaves me to say thanks for watching, and I shall see you on the next one.